Welcome in, you witches, sorcerers, and druids. We're covering the Primal spell list, ranks 2 and 3. You know the drill by now, so let's get into some practical picks for your general usage. Starting with rank 2 of damage. Well, as we said, Primal is the blunt hammer on the anvil of spell lists. We're picking big damage on big spells, and rank 2 delivers. We actually get a huge power spike at rank 2 spells. That's level 3 characters. Acid Grip is insanely good. This is damage plus forced movement on a fortitude save. What's important is even if they succeed the saving throw, you get to move the enemy 5 feet. Why is that so valuable, you ask? Well, when an enemy gets moved, it breaks any grabs. So if you have a zombie grabbing your friend or a big monster like an ogre pinning them down to eat them, hit them with Acid Grip. Even if they make the save, it forces them back and breaks their grab, wasting their action and saving your buddy. Insane value. Scrolls of this are always a good idea. We want pure damage. Blazing Bolt is going to feel really good at level 3 and okay at level 4. This is an armor class targeting spell that shoots 3 targets. Now note, that means it does really high burst damage when you spend 3 actions to fire at 3 enemies, but it's fairly spread out and outdated when you get rank 3 spells. Once you have Fireball and Lightning Bolt, Blazing Bolt doesn't look as good, frankly. Good thing we have other options to switch to, right? We keep switching our spells for the situation, and that's how you keep your caster very powerful. In terms of situations, Brine Dragon Bile, this is really used when you're higher level and don't care about rank 2 spell slots. This is a reaction to spit at an enemy when they take damage from one of your buddies, and hey, you get a little bit of extra damage. On a reaction, why not? If you love pumping out numbers, more numbers is good. Simple as. Floating Flame, however, insane. This is a ball of fire that you move every turn, and everyone who gets touched by it makes a reflex save and takes damage. You keep sustaining this, and they keep taking damage. The damage doesn't look good round 1, but over round 2, 3, 4, 5, it does massive numbers for a single spell slot. Very efficient. You can cast a Floating Flame at your highest rank or second highest rank, and then hit them with cantrips and focus spells for the rest of the fight, and you're golden. You're doing great. Ignite Fireworks is a pretty nice one, I gotta mention. It doesn't bring the constant damage or force movement of our previous spells, but it is an AOE that does lower damage but brings Dazzled, which is nice. You hit a pack of enemies with this, they all get slapped with that 20% miss chance and take some damage, softens them up. Remember, when we use AOEs, what you're doing on a crowd of enemies is some of them will succeed, some of them will fail, or even crit fail. We're looking for the ones who take more damage. That tells the rest of your team, oh, focus fire that enemy, they're weak. And now you can pick the enemy formation apart. And last, if you bring an animal companion or familiar, that's a druid or witch thing, you want Thundering Dominance. This spell has it all. It has it all. It is a buff you cast on your animal companion or familiar, and yes, it does work on familiars. And it allows them to spend their actions to create a will save cone area of effect. Shoot off a cone as a scream, right? And it does crazy good damage. It applies Frightened 1 on a will save. That's the trifecta here. Oh man, this brings everything for you. Remember, primal spells, you have no good will save spells. So this is a good will save. It does really good damage. It rolls D8s for damage, not D6. That's crazy. And it applies Frightened 1. So it's a debuff, an AoE damage, and a will save. Oh my god. Oh my god. Play Animal Companion Druid. It's so good. And rank 2 introduces A lot of really good buffs. I know I said we don't have buffs, but like rank 1 and 2 actually has quite a few. What's important to note is the buffs primal spells tend to bring aren't like, oh, +1 to hit. They're very physical. We have Enlarge, which physically makes your frontliner bigger, giving them more reach and more damage, but they're now easier to hit. We have Hidebound, which causes your ally to grow thick skin and resist physical damage as a reaction. By the way, Hidebound, super good. You bring some scrolls of this in each hand, and you can just pop these for very little money, and your front line is going to absorb a ton of extra damage. If you're higher level, consider Scrolls of Hidebound and pop those things like candy. We got Loose Times Arrow, which is a 6 target AoE haste. It gives everyone, including yourself, an extra move action 1 time on the next turn. Remember, that means when you cast it on yourself, you will not get that extra move until your next turn. Very important to keep in mind. But Loose Times Arrow is insanely good for getting into position, approaching enemies that start the fight far away, or when you get ambushed, you can pop this and now everyone has that extra mobility to get into formation to protect themselves. And speaking of getting into formations, Propulsive Breeze is a great reaction that boosts an ally's move speed when they make a stride action, when they move. I mean, hey, if that saves them an action as your reaction, very good. Have you noticed there's really good reactions in the Primal spell list? Like, you can fill your entire rank 1 and rank 2 spells of reactions and be golden. Speaking of which, this is an uncommon spell, so you have to ask your game master if they'll allow you to get it. But Pyre Foul Rebuke, super good, super nice. What this is when an enemy hits you, you get to do a little bit of fire damage to them and move 10 feet away from them as a reaction. So strong. A little bit of fire damage. I mean, it's not huge, but what if they're weak to fire? And hey, a d6 of damage, why not? That's nice. And you get to, more importantly, move 10 feet away when they hit you. This forces a disengage. Because you've backed off, they can no longer use a follow-up grab or knockdown to knock you prone. For a lot of monsters that have those abilities, and they can't just stand there and beat on your squishy wizard booty. Okay, you're a druid, but you know what I mean, right? Very useful. This spell kicks butt. And last, Resist Energy. It's really better when upcast. At higher ranks like 4th or 7th rank, Resist Energy can target more people. Giving energy resistance to one person in a party of 4 isn't like as good as you'd hope. But when you are entering a themed area, like you're entering the ice dungeon or the lava caverns, right? Then, hey, resist energy. You know you're going to be coming into a lot of energy damage. Bring the counter. As for debuffs, okay, there's really only 2, but they're both kind of busted. All right, we have Manifestation of Spirits. This is an uncommon will targeting spell. Once again, will targeting, very rare. I'm just going to, before we even describe it, this spell is so busted, it is banned in Pathfinder Society. That's the organized play in your local game store. It's just straight up banned there. It's so busted. I don't know who wrote this thing. So consider if you even want to use this in your game. Talk with your game master first. The reason it's busted is Manifestation of Spirits applies Stupefied 3. And if they fail to save, it's Stupefied 3 for a minute. On a second rank spell, you can Stupefy 3. Remember, that's a -3 to will saves and perception. And if they are a spellcaster, they get a -3 to their spell saving throw DC, which you have to roll to protect yourself. And they now have like a 30% chance to just fail any spell they try to cast. What? Huh? Who wrote this thing? At rank 2? I mean, I'm going to point it out because it's just that good, but I'm also just going to point out, maybe don't use this. It might be too good. Because if If the game master says, oh, you use it, okay, I'll use it. When the game master busts this out when low level enemies just hit you with this in a big fight, oh, it's gonna feel awful, dude. But like, if you're using it, then they get to use it. Now, what is fair, what we can use is Revealing Light. Revealing Light, my love. This is an AOE reflex save that counters invisibility and applies the dazzled condition. Even if they make their saving throw, they are dazzled and lose their invisibility. What it is it makes invisibility merely concealed. You can see where they are. They still get a 20% miss chance, but everyone can see and target them. And if they were concealed, like if they're in a fog, you can turn off that concealment entirely. Very useful, very versatile, and consider a scroll of this if you're not going to take it in your spell slots because you want all those tasty reactions. Invisible enemies are a nightmare to fight, and you can just carry a silver bullet to stop that invisibility from taking you out. Absolutely worth the investment. Now that we're rank 2, we also get some incredible control spells. Your ability to apply difficult terrain and force your enemies to spend a lot of actions, waste actions approaching your party. Incredible. Remember, difficult terrain is not that valuable if you play on small maps with melee teammates. So if you're playing like Abomination Vaults, which is just a small dungeon, and your party all want to rush in with swords drawn, difficult terrain isn't valuable. But if your party knows to stand back, throw some javelins, cast some spells, or shoot a bow, and then pull their sword and wait for the enemy to approach them, now it's incredible. Now you can cast this before the enemy goes and waste a ton of their actions as the monsters try to reach you. That's how we use this. So talk to your party, make sure they're okay with holding back and preparing to take the enemy's charge rather than charging in themselves. If they want to charge in either way, well, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just not going to be quite as good. With that said, Entangling Flora is incredible. It's really good. It's a reflex save. It creates a big zone of difficult terrain, and if they fail the reflex save, they lose 10 feet of movement. This is way bigger than you think because most characters have 25 movement normally. That's 5 tiles of move speed. Difficult terrain rounds down, so it takes 2 tiles of move speed to move 1 tile because it cuts your speed in half and it rounds down. So if you cut their speed down from 25 to 15, what's 15 cut in half? 7. They can only move 1 tile. That's insane. That's going to lock them down brutally hard if it works. Second, we have Darkness. Classic Lights Out. Bring this if your whole party has dark vision. If you're all playing orcs and dwarves, now Darkness is super good. If you're ambushing people don't have dark vision. That's like halflings, humans, elves. Most of them don't have dark vision unless they have a specific heritage. So you can get a huge advantage and just jump them. It's effectively invisibility. Just make sure to destroy any lanterns they have on them, right? But of course, if you're fighting a monster which has dark vision itself, kind of useless. Maybe make this a scroll. These are all good scrolls. And speaking of good scrolls, Steel Fortifications is fantastic. This is a newer spell. It is instant cover. You create 3 2x2 squares of steel fortification. These provide difficult terrain for medium creatures. Hey, that's pretty nice. And more importantly, small creatures can stand inside this and get cover in all directions. That means if your party are all small creatures, if you have goblins and gnomes and halflings as your party, bring this spell. It's going to be insanely good. It's going to be so powerful because you all just walk into the cover and you get a permanent +2 to armor class and reflex saves. That's better than a permanent shield raised. That is so good, dude. That's so good. But it's so party specific because it only works for parties of small characters. The more medium or large characters you have, the worse this spell becomes. And besides all of those, which are good scroll spells, there's a lot of items to buy here. Good news that rank 2 scrolls are dirt cheap. By the time you hit level 5, level 6, you can go out and just buy reams of rank 2 scrolls. Keep them all in your spacious pouch, your bag of holding, and just pull them out when you need them. Or, strap them to your body and pull them out quick and fast if you use them in combat. With that said, obviously we're buying Tailwind at rank 2. A Wand of Tailwind should be your big buy you're saving up for. This is basically a permanent plus 10 move speed for you. And that's just, dude, there's no situation where this is not super good. It's always, always good. As for scrolls, Revealing Light, you want that to counter invisibility. Water Breathing, bring one of those, so if you need to breathe underwater, take a swim through a massive pipeline you can't get through. Burrow Ward. Burrow Ward is interesting. What it does is it stops enemies from burrowing through the ground around you. That's very specific, right? That's why it's a scroll. But like if you fight bullets or worms or something that can burrow, this is really good. Just remember, it only works on enemies who cannot burrow through hard stone. What that means, if you're fighting a purple worm at high levels, do not try this. It will not save you. And Entangling Flora, fantastic difficult terrain and reduced movement. And last, Gecko Grip. Gecko Grip used to be called Spider Climb for those classic players. I kind of like Gecko Grip. The alliteration is, I don't know, it's just kind of, alliteration. I like it. But it lets you climb on walls. I mean, hey, climbing on walls, super useful. Why would you not want that? Keep it in the pocket. For us damage lovers, us blasters, and big number enjoyers, Floating Flame and Acid Grip are really your go-tos here. Acid Grip gives you a nice reflex save that moves enemies. Love it, multi-use. And Floating Flame is our big ticket, our standard pick. You do some damage every round, you keep sustaining it, you keep rolling dice. Look, they gotta fail the reflex save eventually. You just keep slamming it into as many enemies as you can to rack up numbers. It won't be a huge number, but it's a lot of small numbers. And Loose Times Arrow is really worth considering. It's not damage, but one free strike for the party can save you in so many surprise situations. Last, if you want to ditch that, or if you just have an animal companion, maybe just bring Thundering Dominance. Maybe bring that for all your spell slots. It's so good. Yeah. All right. This spell is so good. If you have an animal companion or a familiar, you have to bring a Thundering Dominance. It's just that strong. The damage is great, the scaling is good, and Frighten 1 in an AoE. This thing rules. And for us tactics enthusiasts, the Strategist loves rank 2 for Primal. Acid Grip, we're still bringing force movement and damage. It's just so versatile. Entangling Flora for an incredibly powerful difficult terrain blast. And Pyrefoul Rebuke if your Game Master is okay with you using it. The ability to back off of an enemy as a reaction, that saves you in action and means you can stand there and cast your big spells quite confident and quite safe. Once again, though, if you have an animal companion or familiar, we're locking in Thundering Dominance. It's just that good. When you're higher level, when you hit level 7, rank 2 spells, they're not really worth using for damage at this point. Your cantrips are just as good and your focus spells are drastically better. So, what do we bring? We bring a lot of reactions. Hidebound is insane. The more copies of this you have, the better. Giving physical resistance to a friend when they get hit, that's damage saved, that's more HP, that's more time on the clock for you to bring the baddies down. And Pyrefoul Rebuke keeps you safe, getting you out of danger when you get hit. And last, Revealing Light. You don't have to bring this as just a scroll. It is still an AoE dazzle in any fight, and that's always quite good. And countering invisibility, yeah, it's hard to hate. It really, really is. And you might be wondering, hey, generic, why not Entangling Flora? It's still good, right? It is still good. But rank 3 and above spells are so powerful. You get such a massive power spike at rank 3 spells as a spellcaster. Boy, you just have so many options for difficult terrain. And speaking of which, let's dive straight into rank 3. This is the great stuff. Your power explodes upwards, and it only gets better from here. Now you are the true Primal Hammer. You have massive AOEs, big damage, and frankly, you can just slam in damage pretty much every rank from here on and just do pretty good, honestly. As long as you don't fight single target enemies all the time, if you fight groups of enemies, you're going to be pumping out huge numbers. If you do fight single target bosses for most of your fights, one, I'm sorry, that's rough. Two, I don't know, just bring Floating Flame constantly at high levels and just ram it into them, I guess. It'll work. But rank 3 damage spells, we got so many options. Blazing Dive and Breach are fascinating spells. These are mobility spells that also do damage. So that's a lot of use in one spell. Blazing Dive lets you fly into the enemy up to 60 feet. Massive mobility, massive move speed. And then explode for slightly less than normal fireball damage. This is great for your frontline druid, your off-tank, off-frontline druid. You fly into them, explode, and either strike with your weapon or raise your shield to defend yourself. Really good. And Dive and Breach is similar. You can use it to engage, but this does damage both where you leave and where you arrive. So use this to jump between 2 packs of enemies or jump away from an enemy that's trying to kill you and get away from them while still doing damage. When it comes to artillery, though, now we're winning. Now we got the good stuff. We got Cave Fangs. That's right, Cave Fangs. It's better fireball. It's almost strictly better fireball. So this is a reflex save. It's a burst of damage just like fireball, and it creates difficult terrain because it leaves a bunch of stalactites and stalagmites in the area. It's fireball with difficult terrain. That is control and damage at the same time. That's super, super good. And we have Eagle's Cry. This is an uncommon spell. So as always, talk to your game master if they're okay with you using it. This is a 30-foot cone that is damaged plus frightened. We love mixed value. We love debuff and damage at the same time. You keep popping these and your life is good, baby. Not much else to say. However, if you like single target damage, if you love giant numbers, we got you covered. Holy Light and Moonlight Ray. These are 2 spells that are both unholy death beams. You target armor class, and if you hit an unholy enemy, that's a demon, a devil, a daemon, you will do insane damage. I think it's like 10d6 at rank 3. For reference, a normal spell does 6d6. This is almost twice the damage of a normal Cave Fangs or Fireball. Crazy huge. Just make sure to get your allies to prone or grapple the enemy. Ask them to aid your attack, get a guidance buff, get ready to pop your hero point to reroll the attack. You want to stack bonuses if you want to blow someone up, because if this crits, it's going to be the funniest thing you've ever seen. You know what I mean? And last, a lightning bolt. This is your big damage button. It's a line shot that does like 4d12. That's a ton of damage. Now remember, it's a line AoE. It's hard to line these things up. Aha. It's hard to line these things up. So try to hit 2 targets with Lightning Bolt. Going for more than that can be very difficult, but as long as you can line up 2 targets in the Lightning Bolt, you're going to get big damage for the spell slot. Whew. That took a while. What can I say? I just love damage. But we have some okay buffs at rank 3. Mostly the reactions. Cloud Dragon's Cloak is a nice reaction. Protect a buddy with a 50-50 miss chance when a ranged attack comes at them. You're really only going to use this at high levels when you have spells to spare. Similar, a Wooden Double is your critical hit protection. When someone crits you, you can cast Wooden Double in order to create a ninja, wooden log jutsu that will take the hit for you and absorb 25 points of damage. Consider that a rank 3 spell absorbing 25 damage as a reaction. That's really good. However, just keep in mind, if your opponent has reactive strike, you just cast a spell of Manipulate, bucko. They're going to swing again on you. Be very careful. Be very careful when you use Wooden Double. But it's really good. And last, we do have Haste. I know you're thinking generic. Why is Haste last? It's so good. It's like okay at rank 3. You're spending 2 actions to give someone 1 action a turn. That means they need at least 3 to 4 turns for it to have been worth it at all in terms of actions, right? This is really used for action-starved classes like a Magus. If you haste a Magus, they'll love you forever because they're struggling to pull off their big spell strikes and recharge it and move at the same time. For the most part, haste is really amazing when you hit rank 7 spells. When you're level 13, that's when it pops off, in my opinion. Now, debuffs, though. Ooh, rank 3 debuffs are so good. So first off, we got Blister Bomb. This is a nice sickened grenade, essentially. It's a small area of effect. Don't expect it more than like 2 enemies at most here. But it's a Fortitude save, and it applies Sickened 2 or better. Sickened 2 is really good. It's going to cost them multiple actions to get rid of that, or they just can't get rid of it at all. That is some premium value on the debuff game. Eagle's Cry, like we mentioned, this is a cone that applies Frightened. That's really nice. And frankly, at level 5 and 6, I would take Eagle's Cry over an Upcast Fear most of the time. The extra damage on top is hard to miss. I would switch that to Fear Spell, which, hey, Fear's a great spell at rank 3. It targets 5 guys. That's really nice. But only switch to that at like level 9, when the damage from Eagle's Cry no longer is enough to be worth breaking. And at higher levels, we should consider Mind of Menace. This is a fascinating spell. Another will save debuff, which, hey, those are rare for you. We take what we can get. What this is a 24-hour buff. This means it's incredible as a wand, by the way, because you just use it every day. The first foe to use a mental effect on you, you can use a reaction to activate Mind of Menace and possibly frighten them. That's basically free. Why would you not bring a wand of this? This is so good. And last, we have Slow, the Boss Crusher. Slow is a Fortitude save spell. It costs the enemy 1 action if they make their save and 2 actions if they fail their save. If they crit fail, they're basically doomed. They're slowed 1 for the next minute. That's brutal. Now, it's really good on boss fights, but frankly, I think Sickened 2 from Blister Bomb actually brings more value for most 1v4s, most big boss fights. Because that's going to cost them multiple actions to keep retching, to keep going bleh, and getting rid of their sickened condition, even when they succeed their save. Or they just eat it, have bad numbers, and now the boss fight's easy to beat because you just reduce their numbers, right? The thing that they had that made them strong, it just went away. So personally, I think Slow is really only worth bringing at rank 6 compared to some of your other options. At rank 6, Slow becomes an AOE spell, a multi-target spell, and at that point, it's just insanely good. It's just crazy good, because it's just, you know what? All the enemies, your turns suck. Deal with it. And you're just going to clean house. On our control options in rank 3 are good. Have you seen how difficult it is to pick rank 3 spells? You have so many good ones. Well, if you like to control, we can bring Aqueous Orb. This is a fun one. You like Pac-Man? We summon a ball of water and roll it around every time you sustain it, and it just tries to eat people. Every time it rolls over someone, they have to make a reflex save, or they're absorbed into the ball of water and have to hold their breath and physically swim out of the water. So you can keep wasting their actions, wasting their time as they have to pull themselves out, and then you just try and roll over them again. It's like You know how Floating Flame is damage every round? Aqueous Orb is control and debuffs every round. For extra fun, bring both. Don't actually. You don't want to use Floating Flames and the Orb at the same time. But it's pretty good. Cave Fangs, like we discussed, difficult terrain ball that also does damage. Fantastic. And if you want different difficult terrain, we have Onoric Mire. This is an interesting one, you think. Generic, 20-foot burst of difficult terrain that reduces move speed. Wait, this is just a higher rank version of Entangling Flora. We already have this spell at rank 2, and this one costs 3 actions to cast. Terrible. Well, Onoric Mire is good because it's a will save. This gives you more options, right? More options. Sometimes you want reflex, sometimes you want will, depending on who you're fighting. That's all it is. And last, Wall of Wind. Maybe consider this as a scroll. It's a very specific wall spell. Wall spells are always good, but what this one is, it's a small amount of difficult terrain, but more importantly, it makes a wall of wind that stops flying enemies and it stops physical range attacks. So, like arrows, javelins, and bullets are all going to get stopped by wall of wind. So, if you're in a situation where there's a bunch of archers taking you down, this is an insanely high value spell to have on you. Rank 3 scrolls are still quite cheap, so boy, let's start buying them. Blister Bomb and Aqueous Orb are insanely good scrolls. They never really fall off. You can always use a Sickened Blast or the ability to just eat people with water, particularly against casters, because remember, can't cast spells underwater or you drown. So you can just keep absorbing casters and wasting all of their actions as they try to escape. Fantastic counter. Fear is pretty good. I mean, you can just debuff a ton of guys. It's hard to hate. Scrolls of it are nice because you might not want this eating up spell slots, but when you fight a crowd of guys, you're like, let's just pull out a fear scroll and slap them with this. This sounds like the time. Mind of Menace is an incredible wand. Maybe bring 2 or 3. You hit by a mental effect. Debuff that guy. Yeah, that's nice. And Wall of Wind, as we said, this is your anti-arrow spell. Good to have in the pocket. Now for us blaster and number lovers, we're bringing Cave Fangs. It's Fireball, but better, because now we can control the enemy at the same time. Nice. We want to bring Eagle's Cry if your Game Master's okay with the uncommon spell, because once again, damage cone that applies frightened. Ooh, it's so good. And for the big number lovers, we grab a lightning bolt when we want to just blast out a huge chunk of damage. We just do it. And if you do need some kind of debuff, we want a big, easy to use debuff. Bring Blister Bomb. It's just Sicken 2. It's nice. Maybe better if they fail to save, but hey, Sicken 2 on 1 or 2 guys, that's a nasty blast of debuff. For our more strategery lovin', we can bring Aqueous Orb because, dude, just rolling the water ball into enemies is so incredibly disruptive. It's so good against packs of enemies and is still nice against single foes. You can just keep balling it into people and it wastes their time, wastes their actions, makes their life a lot harder. Cave Fangs we're still going to bring because, I mean, hey, difficult terrain plus damage was not the love. And Eagle's Cry for the same reason. A damage cone plus frightened is good. If you don't want Eagle's Cry, then let's go for Fear at rank 3, giving us a nice will save ability, something that's very valuable for us, and AOE debuff. It's really good stuff. Once we've hit the solid mid-level point of the game, level 11, yeah, I know it feels high, but like, seriously, guys, try starting some campaigns at high levels. It's really fun. I'm just saying. But all right. But once we hit level 11, these rank 3 spells, their damage has really fallen off. I think at rank 9, I think at level 9 and 10, we can still get good damage from a rank 3 spell, but by level 11, they're really not worth using. Now we're going to want to load up on our nice reactions and utility. Mind of Menace is so good. If you don't have wands of this, then just bring it yourself. Fear is always valuable. An AoE Giga Debuff is very powerful, and Wooden Double, 100% worth bringing. Critical hit protection, 25 more hit points when someone crits you. That adds up fast. If you pump this 2 or 3 times in a fight, you are taking an insane amount of damage. You're also eating a lot of crits. Maybe raise a shield. So there you go. Rank 2 and 3, some practical spells, ways to get started, and what to consider. Let me know if you like these spells. Let me know if you like this format. I'm trying to pack it in hard and fast and not go into too many tangents. It's so hard. It just comes out. We'll keep going. We're doing ranks 4 and 5 next. Make sure to subscribe to us at Lord Generic RPG and you'll catch the rest. Thank you for dropping by, and it's on to the rank 4, the mid-level spells. Let's get some good stuff going.